Somebody's alarm's going off. We will call the specially called purchasing meeting for April 29, 2024 to order. Carla, will you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Phillips?
Present.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here.
Commissioner Gooch?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Present.
Commissioner Peak?
Here.
Chairman Carr?
Here.
Thank y'all.
Because this is a special called meeting, are we going to approve the minutes of this meeting because it's not on the agenda?
If we can.
If you had a chance to review the minutes,
I have.
then we can go ahead and
I've
do
looked at them and read over them. I didn't see a problem with them. I'll make a motion to approve.
Perfect.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on approving the minutes of the previous meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. The minutes of the previous meeting stand approved. Do we have anybody for public comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The purpose of this meeting is to open the bids for the transfer station. However, we took the opportunity, if the committee will remember, to consider, after taking an advisement, risk management proposal. So we're going to do that first, and then we'll open the bids for the transfer station last if there's no objection. So thank you. Ed, if you'll come back to join us and tell us what you've determined as in the form of a recommendation for the committee. For the record, why don't you introduce everybody for me, Ed, if you don't mind.
I
Thank
have
you.
Susan Thompson with me. She's our safety coordinator, and also Janet Cook. She's the broker with CCMSI.
Thank you. All right, Ed, tell us what we're looking at.
So, the very first page, I remembered last year when we gave out some statistics talking about property and casualty. I remember several of y'all writing a lot of things down, especially I remember Commissioner P. We were given certain statistics about what we're insuring. And so I wanted to give you on the first page just a general idea of property that we have, locations of property, and how the insurance kind of comes together, number of vehicles, content. We don't insure the physical part of the buses, but we do insure the liability of the buses. So that's, when you look at the first page, you can see that we went from $2 billion worth of, just over $2 billion worth of building and contents values. And the renewal is for $2.395 billion worth of property value and contents. Below that, you see the rate change. That's where the expiring rate changes, and then the renewal rate change that we received a bid for. When you're looking at below that, you'll see the contents alone is about $132 million. And then you can see there's concentration of risk, 7 locations of more than $1 million worth of building and contents. So part of that goes into, if you look at certain rural counties where there's not such a concentration of so many schools and buildings, your risk is a little bit lower if you have like a tornado or something. Compared to ours, if the worst case scenario, I think, number one is going to be Blackman, where you've got Blackman Elementary, you've got Blackman High School, you've got Blackman Middle, you've got Commissioner McAdoo shaking his, you've got EMS, you've got One Stop, and so something hit there, you have a great concentration. And those things go into consideration when it's being bid. You take Siegel, you take Stewart's Creek, where you have a lot of concentration of property, and I think we saw this back in Wilson County. I think experienced that when they had 2 schools that were flattened when that tornado came through. So, and then I don't know if you've read the papers or seen the news lately out west. So part of the increase in that property insurance, and Jenny can speak to it a little bit more if she'd like, but part of that increase is that we're beginning to see more major losses that across the United States as a whole, and more so in the state of Tennessee, if you go back to some flooding and some additional damages. So there's 134 locations. There's 400 buildings in those locations. We've added 4 new buildings, Las Casas and Walter Hill, Public Health and Safety. Then there's one small one where it's the Milton building. I think that the fire department is taking over. It's just, my understanding, just a metal building with a little bit in it that we've taken over, the county has taken over. And then you have the 814 South Church Street that the Board of Education built. So that's also added to it. The inflation factor really set in big this year in content and in buildings values. Quite a bit big increase. Of course, the voting machines for that content, I think that was like $1 million increase itself in value. So that was added this year. You see vehicle value, there's $58 million worth of vehicle value. And of course, inflation kicked in on that also.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
You talked for a few minutes about major loss, and you cited the Blackman schools and the One Stop and the EMS facility over there and as a mitigating factor in the rising premiums as it relates to there have been an increase in major losses. Did you say that, or how did you say that? Restate that if you don't mind.
Their exposure,
Okay.
because of it all being certain concentrations. And I'll give you an example.
But my understanding was you just referenced not the exposure, but there have been increase in the number of major losses.
Major losses statewide,
Correct.
countrywide, not,
Correct.
so like.
No, I just want to make sure. So my question.
Not Rutherford County.
I understand. My question though is, what constitutes a major loss? Is it a dollar amount? Is it how is a major loss defined? How's that determined? What is a major loss?
State or national disasters.
Yeah, state or national disaster, I would say.
But I guess one point, in the insurance business, that is not a defined term. Is that correct?
Not particularly.
Okay. That's
The
what I mean.
underwriters typically look at anything over 100,000, not really considered a major loss, but that would be considering an underwriting base.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
All right, so if you look at the next page. You can see the expiring coverage, and then you can see the annual premiums. And you can see what the increases are. So, and then on the property rate, you'll see for the rate increase from the expiring into the existing of 0.132. And that's your bulk of the increase this year, is your property value. So inflation, and then the rate increase itself. We have Jeremy Shute with ESP that goes out, and he looks at them. Some of them he looks at, some of them if he's already looked at them, he just he'll, if there's not much changes, if we haven't added anything, content, stuff like that, he'll plug in an inflation number. And that's what a big part of this is, for the last year, is if one of these buildings were hit, if you don't have that inflation factor, when you get ready to build it back, you're not going to have enough funds. So there's your big increase there. And then when you walk on down casualty insurance, you can see the difference here from 1.653 million to 1.882 million. Then when you come down to crime, you have that with Travelers. Then cyber liability, You went from 55 to 55,450. Dental, 6,245 to $7,081. And volunteer firefighters, you have 4182, and it's the same as last year. And then the OJI surety bond, that's $5,000, same as last year. And then the broker fee goes from 45 to 46,350. The total, the difference, $4,167,470 is the expiring premium. The annual premium for 24-25 is $5,167,982. And then the last page, you can see those that either showed no response to the bid or they declined to quote.
Do you have a recommendation?
Our recommendation is to, and let me back up. The insurance committee's recommendation, unanimous choice, was to recommend this page 2, the annual insurance 2024, annual 25 annual insurance premiums as presented.
Questions from the committee?
As usual, I got lots of questions, but I don't disagree at all with your decision here, but I do have a couple of questions. One is the volunteer firefighters is the same as last year, even though you've got 2 less departments.
That's correct.
Yes. So with the
Was that taken into account that you've got less?
It is, because we provide a number, but then you have just amount of coverage for a range.
Okay.
I don't follow that. Can you elaborate?
To have a certain amount of coverage, like let me give you an example, like on
So
our.
it'd be like 0 to 6 or 6 to 18 or something like
Yeah,
that? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, like on our automobiles.
Yes.
Like we don't insure every specific vehicle. We do turn in the vehicles that we have, but if we gain a vehicle, then correct me if I'm wrong, Janet, your policy is for the vehicles, that covers all the vehicles.
So it's a range of number of vehicles
Yeah.
with a total value, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, so it's a similar with.
Very similar.
Okay, thank you. I
And
was
that-
like you,
and
makes
that
no
goes-
sense. I mean, thank you for that, Robert.
It's not a price per employee or price per volunteer firefighter.
Okay.
I understand.
All right.
Don't like it, but I
I
understand.
would think we would get a break.
The other thing I wanted to ask about is what is actually covered under cyber liability? For instance, if someone's information was stolen, I mean, we handle public information, where we do. And if that was compromised and somebody sues the county, is that the kind of coverage that we're picking up here, or what all is covered by the cyber? I mean, that's kind of a new thing to me, so.
Jenny, do you want to?
Sure. Yeah, that's exactly right. Any type of money securities would go under fraud, but any type of thing where somebody's coming in and, like you said, steals identity and whatever the cost may be to come back to make the county whole again. And then also recommendations about how to prevent that in the future.
Would that also cover equipment that we would have to no longer use? Because I've heard of cases where, because they've been compromised so much that it virtually wasn't in use anymore. Is that also covered?
Now, the equipment itself would not be. Like I said, they would come back with recommendations on how to prevent that from happening in the future. But it's more about the security of it and making sure it didn't happen again. And any monies that you were out or that the citizens were out would be a reimbursement back to the county.
Okay. Thank you. Just want to know what I'm getting for my money.
Sure.
Any other questions? Seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion.
I'm positive we don't have much of a choice. I don't like the 25% increase in premiums, but everybody's property went up 75–80% anyway, and insurance premiums for homes went up at least that much. So I move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion, questions, or comments?
Well, since he pointed out it was 25% increase, I want to point out, so people hear that there were a lot of new buildings added. So that would add to that 25%. It's not just premiums, it's us adding.
That is a correct statement. It is. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, without objection, Carla, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Phillips?
Yes.
Commissioner McAnany?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes.
Mayor Carr?
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you. And we need to sign that. This one.
Yeah, yeah, pass that one around.
Chairman Johnson, just so you know, I did not leave you room to sign above my name like you historically have done in the past, unless you, of course, sign over top of some of the numbers, which I...
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Janet.
Thank
you, Susan. All right, now to the reason for the special call meeting. It's the opening, and I want to remind the committee, as previously announced, this is just the opening of the bids, the award of the bids. We will take them under the advisement, and we will award as scheduled on May 2nd unless there's a problem, which we don't anticipate. So Carla, why don't you?
Finish up
I can if they like, so they can sit over there. It doesn't matter. We're not going to award today anyway. We're just going to announce the number and move on.
We received in 5 bids.
There you go. You sure you have
We only received 5.
Yes, we received in 5.
You will announce who you're opening, and then we'll go over to it.
You want, so when you announce, there's a couple things we want to hear, which I know they want to hear, which is the base bid, unit price 1 and 2, and the contractors.
Okay.
We'll do our best.
I can give you one of these to follow. I just know they're going to ask for it right away, right? Yeah.
Here. Why don't you do my secretary?
Who's this one?
Okay, so bid number 1 came in from Steelhead Building Group.
Steelhead?
Steelhead Building Group.
Why don't you go ahead and stamp your original, if there's a, huh? Well, then write original on it. We'll hold it back,
I
something.
think we only received 1. Hold
No copies?
on. No copies. Let me make sure. This is a bid bond. Unless they're in here. Qualification statement. Yeah, okay, so we only received 1 copy of the bid from Steelhead. Okay, and then you needed,
So the base bid for Steelhead is $8,614,189. And the per cubic price, I would think this is cubic yards for
Unit price 1, then 2. So
unit price is, I'm doing it in chronological order, Bart.
Okay.
Unit price per cubic yards is $80, and the unit price per ton is $27. And we got just 1 bid, so I need to,
Is addendums 1 through 6 acknowledged?
yes,
And you have a bid bond?
yes.
yes. I do have a bid bond.
So, but since we only got one of these, this is the original, so if you don't mind.
And could you read us the subcontractors as well, please?
It's
On the
on the
envelope.
front of the sheet.
Got CHC Mechanical Contractors, Lawson Electrical Group, MTT Masonry, and Brothers Contractors, LLC.
MTT Masonry.
Is CNC, is that the plumbing contract?
CHC is plumbing and HVAC.
Okay.
So what does, so the base bid,
The base bid is $8,614,189.
so what is that, what's the difference? You said the per unit cubic price?
We have unit cost in the bid. They have to provide us a number in the bid for that. And then after we read all these out, then we'll go and evaluate these bids.
So what's the main number you're looking at, the base bid? Or is it the
Right
base
now,
bid plus?
yes, sir, it's the base bid right now, so the, Bart, I thought there was just, we're doing, what's the per yard bid? I know what the per ton is, that's the 6,500 tons, according, isn't that correct, Howard? What's the per yard?
It's not unsuitables,
Okay.
unsuitable homes.
Go ahead, Howard, can you explain that? Now, I'm gonna introduce Howard. Howard is with Moody. So Howard, can you explain that, please?
The 500 cubic yards is for undercutting the foundations because some of the bearing depths of the building are lower than the slab that
Thank
we're
you, you did,
providing.
that's right, correct, we discussed that last week. Thank you for reminding me, okay, thank you.
Where's Steelhead from?
Steelhead is out of Brentwood.
Oh, Tennessee, from me.
All right, number two.
Okay, so number two, we have Boyce Ballard Construction. They're here in Murfreesboro, right off the square.
Yep. All addendums approved. We have a base bid of $7,330,000, even. Unit price for one is $50 per cubic yard. Unit price two, $44 a ton. This is the original.
And I did receive copies from
Good.
this guy.
Do we have subcontractors?
Yes. Plumbing is Interstate AC Service. HVAC is Sparta Heating and Air Conditioning Incorporated. Electrical is Lawson. Masonry is Kearney. And concrete is THM.
And you have a bid bond and the AIA qualification statement?
Yes. Yes. You ready for number three?
Yep.
Okay, so number three is from Romac Incorporated out of Franklin. R-O-M-A-C-H. I probably mispronounced it.
You got it.
No, that's
Okay.
correct, that's the correct
Okay.
pronunciation.
Okay.
Old high school buddy, I just found out is one of the principals. Didn't know it until this afternoon. which has no bearing, I probably shouldn't have said that, has no bearing whatsoever.
And he's taking you out to dinner tonight.
No, he's not. Oh, man. Okay, so, well, this is interesting. Addendums, well, this may be a typo, for 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, I think they just added.
Oh, I see.
422.
Yeah, they're good, they're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're good. The base bid, gentlemen, is $7,678,000. No dollars, so $7,768,000.
678 or 7?
$7,678,000. Cubic yards for addendum unit price 1 is $45.20, $45.20, and the per ton for addendum 2 is $40. That's a per ton.
We have for plumbing synergy services, for HVAC VP Mechanical of Tennessee. Electrical is Innovative Contractors Incorporated. Masonry is CR Masonry Construction LLC. Concrete is Covenant Concrete.
All right, we're ready for the fourth and pearl whenever you're ready.
And we did receive the bid bonds and the other document as well.
Where's this one?
And this one, number 4, is from Fellowship Construction. They're out of Bon Aqua.
Bon Aqua, that's over in Dixon County. It's the same Bon Aqua.
It is.
All addendums are completed. The base bid is $9,911,736. The per cubic yard is $110. For unit price 1, unit price 2, the per ton is $40 a ton.
Could you repeat that base bid?
Excuse me?
Could you repeat the base bid?
$9,911,736.
Plumbing is Interstate AC Service. HVAC is Interstate AC Service. Electrical is Innovative Electric. Masonry is, appears to say non-applicable, less than 100,000.
And yeah.
And concrete is Fellowship Construction Incorporated.
All right.
And we did receive the bid bonds.
The qualification statement is in there.
What is that?
Qualification statement.
Pretty sure. the last one is from Sane Construction Company
Maybe Manchester.
out of Manchester.
Same.
Same,
Same.
S-A-I-N. They also have all addendums. Same construction, the base bid is $7,600,000. The unit price per cubic yard for number one is $45.20. The unit price per ton is $40.
They have plumbing and CHC mechanical contractors. HVAC is CHC mechanical contractors. Electrical is Lawson Electric. Masonry is Kearney Masonry Incorporated. Concrete is Covenant Concrete Construction LLC. And grading is Moody Excavating LLC.
That is it, correct?
Yes, and they do have their bid documents and qualifications.
So we will take these under advisement when we come back May 2nd, just so the committee understands that a recommendation will be made, and then a contract still has to be negotiated. So everything's subject to a negotiated, award is subject to a negotiated contract.
When you say we, who's going to make the recommendation?
But it'll be Bart Smith, myself, and of course, any member of the committee that would like to participate. Thank you. We're hoping the choice is easy, but we won't know until we dive into the particulars, obviously. But no, if any member of this committee wishes to participate in that, just let me know. It's going to go pretty quick, so.
Do you need a motion to this effect?
Yes, sir, if you don't mind.
So,
Thank you. We have a motion to
Take them.
take an advisement. I was wanting to say defer, but we're not deferring. Thank you. It takes several brains. Do we have a second? We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We will hopefully come with a recommendation on May 2nd. At the
2 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
Yes. And so I guess having called that, leading that, we have any other business before the committee? Hearing none, what we will do is we will reconvene at 2 o'clock. Is it 2 o'clock this Friday?
Thursday.
Thursday, my apologies. Okay, yeah, this Thursday. Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. Without objection, we stand adjourned.